Hello, folks. My name is Chris. Welcome to the Pros and Cons channel. And I haven't done one of these in a little while because I'm just so busy for the holidays. But I have a glorious stack of viewer-submitted comics here. And one thing I would like to do, I just dropped a piece of them, so pardon me. I'll put that here. Look, I appreciate it. It's so kind of you guys to send in the work that you're doing. I know that there's always passion behind this stuff. I also know it's hard to sometimes get a platform and get a voice. This isn't a huge outlet for that, but one thing I can do, the least I can do, is open it up and share that with my viewers and give you a plug. And I'll go back later and edit the description in case anybody has any like links or anything. This is live. I'm doing this live. And so there will be moments where I'm opening these, maybe reading the letter quietly to myself because I don't necessarily want to share anything that isn't intended for a general audience, but we'll like flip through the comic and talk about it a little. So, lovely to have several people here in the live chat. This is definitely going to be a little more casual and slow than sort of my weekly live stream where I talk about comic book news and stuff like that. I don't know what I'm going to get here. This is exciting, but let's add another camera here and take a look at some of these amazing comics. Oh, and by the way, look at this. Arsnoff, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that that's something you might have sent in. So, yeah, I didn't expect to do this right now either, but I had a little bit of time. I needed to take a break from working on editing the next comic tropes, and I was like, you know what could still be productive? Let me share with my viewers some of these amazing comics that I'm sure to. So, hello to everybody there in the chat room. Let me change this slightly as view. Yeah, this will be a little tighter on this stuff. I'll shift that over here. So this first one I actually already opened, and I'm not going to read this whole letter, but I do want to plug this person. Sent a very nice 2-page typed letter here from Ace, also known as his artist's name, DJ Shefson. And he's a DJ, music producer, and pin creator. And he sent me in 4 of these amazing enamel pins that are custom made. He knows that I'm a fan of Ninja Turtles. Each of them is the Ninja Turtles envisioned as basically a Hollywood movie monster. So I don't know how well you can see this enamel pin, but these are honestly like really, really nice. This is Donatello as the Invisible Man. And I just had the others, and I dropped them as I was starting the live stream. DJ Shefson, I apologize, but I sincerely appreciate it. Boy, that's creative. And yeah, there's his name. I don't know how well the camera's catching that, but at DJ Shefson. So if you're interested in pins, apparently that's something that Ace specializes in. Some really unique custom pins. And actually, I'm not going to fiddle with it too much, getting it back in the box. But I not only appreciate that you sent me something like that. That's definitely going to go on like my convention backpack. But the letter, I happen to already read this one. Wow. Just want you to know I sincerely appreciate like such kind words. I wish you nothing but success. And just so you folks know, I definitely will be keeping all sorts of like letters that you guys send me. Those just go into a folder that I keep for my own records. But let's move on to opening up some things. I've got scissors in case I need them. You won't see me running on this live stream. I'm going to be squarely sat in the chair. But let's see what we've got here. And this is a nice little coincidence that the person that sent this in happens to be right there in the chat room tonight. That's a lovely little coincidence. Let me get this guy open. There we go. There we go. There's several comics in here. Several comics. Okay. This is by Arsnoff. A-R-S-N-O-F. We've got Ninja Have Tea. Oh, nice. A folded comic that will open up. Love it. I love ninjas. I love the passion behind this. That is so cool. I love how that opens up, actually. Okay, so I start like that. I open it up. I open it up again. And then I've got a little coda there. Or no, that's the first page. That's the first page. That's clever formatting. That is really clever formatting. Finding a way to tell sequential story instead of just lots of stapled pages by an unfolding narrative. That's really clever. What else do we have here? Oh, that's fun. This is a sticker. And this skeleton ghost, ew, gross, skeletons, is reading comic tropes. Very, very nice. Here's a letter. So bear with me real quick. I'm just sort of looking at this. Okay. This comic, Arsnoff says, was started as part of the 24-hour comic challenge. I've done that a couple times. Man, I'd love to be able to do it again. That is so cool. And then this is a mini comic from 13 years ago and a ghosty sticker. All right. And I'm not going to like show all the personal stuff, but there's like a bigger version of that ghost sticker. I thought I'd share that. Look at that. So Demon's Core. Demon's Core started as a 24-hour comic book day book. Nice and clean. I'm glad to see that you also used some gray here to help offset and give stuff some depth. Lettering is actually very nice and clean. I love it. So looking like starts off with a sci-fi story. I don't have time to like read each comic all the way through, but I want to get an idea of what we're looking at. Oh man, it gets trippy and surreal. Oh, I'm so excited to read this. Here's the back cover, which hints at what we've got. What secrets lurk in the burning heart of an atomic bomb? How far would you go to find out? What would you sacrifice? Science gone awry. Well, that is so kind of you to send me something like that. That is amazing. I love self-printed comics, you know, doing like you got like that long-necked stapler to make this, right? That's amazing. Thank you so much for these comics. I'm definitely looking forward to spending some time quietly on my own, sitting down and reading. Very, very nice of you. Thank you for being in the live stream so many times. That's very exciting. That's really, really cool. Let's keep going because there is a bunch of stuff. But let's see. We've got some regulars in the chat. Hello. There's somebody saying that's really cool. Demon Core was one spicy meatball. Yup. Oh, gosh. No, thank you so much. Really, really kind of you. All right. This one says that it's from the Spec Tales podcast. They had me on as a guest. So let's see what they could be sending me. All right. Oh, it's a holiday card. We're afraid we've made a terrible mess of your holiday. With the culmination of the Halloween holiday season upon us, we thought we'd like to take a moment to wish you and your loved ones a very haunted holiday. That's awesome. That's so nice. Wow. Jake and Jesus, thank you so much. What a great card you guys made. Oh, and this is like a sticker I could sort of peel off and keep. Well, that's a fun podcast. Jake and Jesus do the podcast Spec Tales. And their idea is they talk to a professional or somebody in the industry or maybe just a really big fan, but they ask them, what is your holy grail of a comic? What is your white whale that you're searching for? I think that's a great premise to launch into an interesting conversation. Some other people jumping in. Thank you so much. Yeah. Can't wait to see what I got. I'm excited too. This is really fun. You did indeed buy a long neck stapler for this. So did I when I first started making stuff like that. So I totally recognize that that way of making comics. I love it. So I've scribbled out anybody's address on this because I don't want to accidentally, dox anyone. But let's see what we've got here. This is a little bit longer. This is like an extra free comic book day for me. All right, so we've got a comic. Put that there for a moment. Do I have a letter or a note? I do. So bear with me. Oh, handwritten. Handwritten. Boy, is that thoughtful. Let me sort of do that while I look at this letter. Chelsea from New York. Oh, man. Here, okay, first comic, Tezra. Started out as a wordless mini comic on copy paper. Decided to take it more seriously and pursue being a professional comics creator. And this will be an ongoing series with the help of Chelsea's friend. How exciting. I was just seeing if it told me anything about what it's about, but it doesn't necessarily. So let's actually open it up and take a look. That's nice. Included both a sleeve and a backing board. So this is protected. Congrats on using, this is some like nice cardstock and a color cover. That's showing some investment, monetarily in your idea, and that means a lot. Chelsea and Anissa. All right. What kind of a story do we have? Also using some grays, and it looks like they've even used a little bit of a stipple pattern. I don't think that this is screen tones. I'm pretty sure this was done digitally, but that still adds some depth. I like when people are able to use grays and stuff like that. All right, pretty big action sequences. I like that. That's sort of a prologue. I see what this person means by sort of a wordless action comic. So let me see. Let's just open up a sequence and see if it's nice and clear, if it tells a story well. We've got, a rider, somebody watching them from overhead, an ambush, a gun shoots at the cyclist, causes an accident, and she's protecting a rabbit. Nice, clean action sequence. Yeah, it's pretty clear without like any real dialogue. I like that. I like that a lot. Bonus material. Hell yeah. All right. Oh yeah. So they've got sort of the original online version, old versus new, and then a nice personal story of what's going on here. Chelsea, thank you so much for sending me something. Let's see. That's beautiful. That's actually really cute. I like that. I like that a lot. Congratulations on investing in yourself and in your ideas. I hope that Tezra goes somewhere. Was there a link in the back of this? Let me just double check. There is. So if there's a link on stuff, I'll definitely point it out. Tezra Tandem on Instagram, and then says that you can read these digital comics on Gumroad, Drive-Thru Comics, Global Comics, and Coffee, with a link tree there of CJM Draws. CJM Draws. Okay, right on. Go Chelsea. Always impressive when you see folks take a chance on their dreams and actually go the print route. Trust me, I know that there's an expense and a time there coordinating with people. Good luck with that. Happy to share that. Here's This one's actually kind of thick. Coming from where? Coming from San Francisco. San Francisco. Let's see. Epic? Yeah, Epic. Hello? Nito? Yep. Surprise stream. Hope I did not miss too much. Not too much. Not too much. And this will be archived. Oh boy. What do I got here? Presents for me. All right. Hold on. Let me be careful. Somebody's address is featured there. Ooh, wow. Gotta tear off some tape. What do we have here? What do we have? Let me read this letter, and I'll put that there. There we go. There's the front. Herbie's Song by Kurt Budrick, and I'm going to read this letter to me. Kurt says that he is running a Kickstarter to raise funds to print my new comic, Galacto Pit Fighter, Requiem for a Human Z. I've included 3 books for you to check out. Kickstarter runs from January 1st through 31st, so that is still going. Can be found at kickstarter.com/project/Kirtrick, KIRTTRIK /Galacto Pit Fighter Requiem for a Human Z. You know what's better? I'll just cover up the personal information. And here's the link for that Kickstarter. That is a long one. But I bet if you looked up Galacto Pit Fighter, you'd probably find it. So let's take a look at the actual comics themselves, right? Herbie's Song. This is an oversized, all cardstock. All right. Wow. This reminds me a little bit of slice of life comics by folks like, Crumb and Harvey Pekar, stuff like that. Just a little bit at first. I like also this choice of only something like 3 spot colors. That actually does a lot for giving it a vibe. Wow. Yeah, this is strong. I'm just really impressed with the overall print quality and stuff. 2022. What else do we have here? Oh, this is Galacto Pit Fighter. So this is, I guess, the comic that they're talking about, Curtis, for Kickstarter. Solid art, great colors. Gives it almost a cel-shaded feel. Viewer comics, awesome. It is awesome. Let's see. Google Kickstarter Galacto Pit Fighter first result. There you go. I like that cover art on Herbie's Song. Style reminds me of David Lapham. I can see a little bit of that. Yep. That is some pro tier stuff. No cons. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Wrestling comics are definitely in the zeitgeist. I mean, just what was my pick of the year? Do a Powerbomb. And there's all sorts of books like that. So we've got like definitely a sci-fi sort of death match, essentially, in a ring. Right on. Wow. Some fan art on the back. So that's 2. And then there was a 3rd comic in here. Another Galacto Pit Fighter. And yeah, same art style. That is pretty clean, isn't it? That's pretty nice and detailed. I love the backgrounds in this. I mean, somebody really took their time here to do it right. I'm trying to, like, I look at that style and I'm trying to, like, pick out, like, the influences. Maybe a little bit of European, sort of like Spanish Italian comics with the hatching. I don't know. I'm just guessing at stuff like that. But I like what I see. Ha! Oh, man, that is badass. That is badass. Yes, please. That is really legit disturbing as an idea. A bunch of eye stalks that are bleeding. Simple, effective. Kudos. I am Galacto, Impaler of Galaxies. Well, I think that this is a pretty good hint at what you could expect from this Kickstarter. I'm impressed with the quality. I'm impressed with the storytelling. Right on. Cannot wait to actually take some time to read that more carefully. I'm impressed. Thank you so much, Kurt. Very, very good. Yeah, very good stuff. Wow. That'll be cool. Okay, look at that. More than one person says this. Quitely maybe for an influence? I see a little bit of Frank Quitely. Right on. I like that. Looks good. I hope this will be put of your channel. Put of your channel. I don't quite get it. Absolutely stellar. Well, there you go, folks. If any of you think that that's interesting or stellar, like I say, if you look up Galacto Pit Fighter, apparently Kurt is doing a Kickstarter right now through the end of this month. Thank you, Kurt. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Good luck with your Kickstarter. Thank you so much for giving me some exciting comics to read. I love horror. I love action. I love sci-fi. It's good. Do I have a big graphic novel collection? Not really. I sold the vast majority of my collection about 9 years ago when I moved across the country. So I wouldn't say I've got a huge collection. Let's see. The overall attitude of the Galacto issues gives me a heavy metal magazine vibe. Totally see that. Totally see that. Yep. Totally can see that. Good observation. All right. This one is coming from North Carolina. Let's see what we got. All right. Some protective padding. Oh, is this all right. This is really well protected. This is called Freedom. Eagle Family Values in Natural Selection. This is underground. This is stuff that definitely reminds me of the underground comics of the 70s, just by the cover. Let's take a look at what we've got here. This is exciting. The Real Mama Eagle. Okay. Freedom, baby. Get on it. Yeah, I'm sure that this has got a little bit of politics in it, right? So this is by somebody named Nathan West. Freedom, Eagle Family Values in Natural Selection. Short story called Natural Selection. It's almost more of a sort of storybook style, isn't it? In that, like, we've got text and wordless panels. That's a little different. But now on this page, all of a sudden, we do have some text. It's keeping me on my toes, that's for sure. Boy, this looks dark. This looks very dark. All right, but there's some good jokes in here, okay? The mama eagle regurgitating the food and the kids happily eating it. It's a little bit of a good gag for Bird. And then this one, can you fly, Bobby? Obviously a reference to Clarence Boddicker from RoboCop, a nice subtle reference. It isn't calling too much attention to itself. Wow. And then the color leaves and things get even more real. Well, there's a lot of text there, so I'm going to have to sit down and actually read this, Nathan. But thank you very much. And here's a good plug. I like it when people put stuff like this in the back. If you enjoyed consuming my comic art and story, consider following me on Instagram at Nate_West_art. So that's his Instagram. Also look for me on YouTube soon after August 22 at The Face of Arts. So there's the least I can do is a nice plug. And boy, is that wild. I think he meant that he wants to see a video on the Galacto Pit Fighter comic on your Comic Tropes channel. yeah, it'd be fun to do stuff like on all of these on Comic Tropes, but I don't know that I sincerely would have that kind of time. Like doing this is already a bit of a heavy lift, but I can at least pass it on this way. If something totally like blew my mind, of course I'd do it on Comic Tropes, but it's also like that opens the floodgates. Oh, look at that. As an aging punk, I'm all about the zines, right? That's the kind of stuff you like. That looks awesome. Kind of reminds me of Woodring. I could see a little bit of Jim Woodring influence there. Yep. And we've got a very cool. I love that there's so much greatness coming out of indies these days. That's the truth. I love going to the comic book store these days and getting surprised by something. But I've been reading comics for a fairly long time, and I think over time you just want to experience something new. I still have a love for certain superheroes and love certain artists and writers, but more I want to get surprised by a story. And sometimes superhero comics can't do that as often, but there are still good ones out there. There's a lot of great stuff indie wise. He doesn't post anything on Instagram. Well, all I can do is plug it. I haven't had time to look at this stuff before. I meant that I hope the viewer submitted comics is part of your channel. It's part of this channel. This is where I advertise my P.O. box. It's part of this channel. I don't have necessarily time to do it on Comic Tropes as like a fully edited episode. Those take a lot of time and are definitely aimed at a huge mainstream audience in a sense. So yeah, kind of tricky. Moving on. What do we have here? It's interesting. I don't know if this is accurate. It seems like the address is IDW. Technically, I guess you could say that's indie. It's not self-published necessarily. Let's see if it truly is or if that was just getting sent. Yeah, this is from IDW. Oh, all right. Hold on here. I wasn't expecting something from like a larger publisher, but kudos to them. Advanced reader's copy, uncorrected proof. Wow. And this is by Van Jensen. Oh, that's interesting. Van Jensen is very entertaining on Twitter. And Van is in the early stages of putting together an anthology based on Stardust the Super Wizard. I made a video about that character and the bizarre history of its creator over on Comic Tropes. Definitely recommend that. And who knows, I might be in that anthology. But all right, so we've got something here from IDW. Says it's not going on sale until July. Let me look at this letter real quick to see what I can share. But that's very clever of them to be aware because, hey, free promotion, it never hurts, right? IDW excited to present a Galley of ARCA, a stunning standalone collaboration between writer Van Jensen and artist Jesse Lonergan. Sci-fi thriller. Okay, so it's definitely sort of a post-apocalyptic story, and it's, let's say, the mega-rich citizens are living out their greatest fantasy on the ARCA, a spaceship set to reach the nearest habitable planet. Settler Persephone, on the verge of her 18th birthday, has been told that a lifetime of servitude will be rewarded by wealth and power, the promised Eden that will grant her and her friends their freedom. But beneath the surface of the ship lurks a hidden truth that will need an uprising to uncover. Boy, obviously, class warfare is making its way into a lot of our media because beyond politics, class warfare is definitely real. The ultra wealthy are possibly taking more than their fair share. Wait, does it say do not share? Sorry, does it say do not share? Because maybe I shouldn't like go through too much of this if it said that. I just saw somebody said, what's this do not share? I totally missed that. Does it say it on the cover? It probably is not meant to be shared yet. I mean, I doubt that they'd mind if I'm telling when it comes out and what the overall plot is. So I don't think I'm doing anything out of turn here. That's really interesting. Joking. Well, you got me. I took that very seriously. So I probably shouldn't, though, share too much, because obviously this isn't in its final form even. This is a galley that needs to be corrected, but we'll just like at least glance at like what the artwork is like, right? And see if what kind of a sense we can get. These are some very talented people. Yeah, so some of it hasn't even been colored yet, and that's totally normal. This is so that like people can look through it and proof it, and spelling, continuity, any last minute touch ups to make things clear. But wow, all right. Hey, you know what? I do love getting a complete story. I don't know how you guys feel about things like that, but says the price should be like $16.99. I'm gonna definitely read this. I'm looking forward to it. That's very kind of IDW to reach out to me like that. ARCA, so something that'll be coming maybe mid-year. But there you guys go, an early preview. Oh yeah, class warfare is definitely nothing new as an overall topic. I just think that it's like a lot of movies I saw in 2022 did have to do with like class warfare stuff. Definitely. That's an art style right up my alley. No worries. Totally get it. Complete stories are great for me, mostly because my memory can't handle long multi-month arcs. I get that 1,000%. It's part of what gets me these days into so much manga, because if I get into it after it's been out for a little while, I can really binge those Tonkabon collected editions. It's also a nice way to read like trade paperbacks these days for certain things. The green makes me feel like I'm looking into the Riddler's cave. Well, maybe you've just solved the first riddle I have for the night. I'm not the Riddler. Anyway, don't know what I was doing there, but that'll be exciting to read. I like Van's Twitter, so I hope it's good. Jonathan from Ontario. Oh, this is our first international comic of the evening, is it not? I believe this is the first international book. Very awesome comics. Yeah. Got to use my scissors here to get this guy open. Well protected. There's honestly very impressed overall with everybody's shipping. All right, what do we got in here? We've got several things in here. Ooh, that's a bunch of mini comics in there. A slightly abnormal size, and something called, what's it? Death Blazers. Okay, Death Blazers. Let me read this quick letter here. Let me tilt that up so you folks can see some of this a little better. It's nice. Person asking if I'll ever talk about Malibu and the Ultraverse. Definitely possible. I sent some comics I drew recently. One is called The Fly Trap, a cosmic horror book, and Death Blazers, released through Holy Mountain Printing. Okay. Jonathan, let's take a look. Let's take a look at what your twisted mind has created for us today. All right. I don't know Holy Mountain Comics, I have to admit. So let's take a look, though. Very nice print quality, I'll say right off the bat. Right off the bat. Very nice. And this is a first print. Hello. Yeah, this is definitely good quality. Just trying to get a sense of what we're dealing with here. But yeah, this is definitely some sort of supernatural action-y horror. This could be fun. This could be a lot of fun. I dig it. What do we see at the back? Anything? This is by the writer. And the artist is the one that sent it to me. Okay, that's fair. Holy Mountain Printing. Oh. We do what we want. We do what we want. Okay. Well, you should. Let's take a look at the fly trap. This one really interests me. And there's like a Scarlet Spider sketch on the back. That's fun too. That's fun. Let me get these out. What do we got? What do we got? Oh man, I totally agree with that. Yeah, it does. It is very metal looking. This come from Sweden? No, it came from Canada. Oh, all right, right on. Black and white. I love black and white. The world didn't end when it should have. Huh. Hey, this is some actually really good artwork. This is good. This is quality. This yeah. I could see this being in a Dark Horse or IDW book, something like that. Definitely. All right, post-apocalyptic horror, monsters. I like it. Bugs. Bugs are always creepy. Why are bugs so creepy? I don't know. I guess we're just afraid of like infestation. Maybe it also represents like sort of like things decomposing sometimes because that's what bugs like to eat. Right on. Dude, very nice. Jonathan has some stuff to plug here. Let's see. So, yeah. A-Man says, enjoy some good cosmic horror. Totally. Totally. We've got grotesque comics. And then over here, Jonathan's got some of his personal stuff that you can look at, like his website, Jonathan Kokiuba? I'm terrible at names. Just guessing. And then Instagram at j.s.k, K-A-Y-E. All right. I like this. I'm excited to read Flytrap. That's cool. Take another look. Yeah, this is really well done. Right on. Thank you so much. That is badass. I love this. I love getting free comics. Thank you, everybody. This is definitely exciting and fun. Oh man, I'll have a lot of stuff to read for a while. That's for sure. That is sure. Bugs are naturally creepy looking. Agreed. How come we've never got a Spawn Hellboy crossover? That would work. Nice. Isn't that Flytrap especially look cool? This is an interesting observation from Caveman. The style in Flytrap gives me some Boondock vibes. Okay. Right on. Wow. So that last one was international from Canada. This one, Scotland. Who knew that I had a international following? I guess I had a small idea that there was some viewership out there, but that's exciting. Let's take a look here. Ooh, that is different. Hold on, I've got a letter here. Got a letter. Oh, I remember you. Yes, I met David at Forbidden Planet Comics this past October. We were both, or was he in line? But I was in line to get a signature from Bill Sienkiewicz. And I was just wandering around the store, and he said he watched my show, and he was visiting New York. I don't get a chance to watch your Monday night live streams as it's 2 a.m. when they begin my time. I thought I'd send you a copy of my latest comic for your perusal. Well, thank you so much, David. Look at that cover. Fred Egg Comicsography. Yep. All right. A little bit of humor. I like this. Whoa. This is really tight because it's a little smaller, so it wants to close. I am all for short comics. Let's see. Drive legal. Oh, you wear glasses? Yeah, for driving. Started last year. I was noticing that I'd miss signs on the road. What does that say? I couldn't read until I'd passed it. That's not good. So I booked an appointment with the optician. Let's see. Just curious where this goes. Okay. That's a good gag. He goes to the optometrist, says that, your vision is okay. You're legal to drive without them. And then because he couldn't see well, he accidentally scrapes the optometrist's car on the way out. That's good. That's good. A good joke with Han Solo bumping Boba Fett again. These are funny. These are good. All right. Oh, okay. This is definitely an anthology with several creators I'm seeing, but this is awesome. Dude. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I was about to say Robertson. David Robertson. Thank you. Reject all. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. I think that takes courage to introduce yourself to somebody, but I appreciated it. You definitely helped make my day a little more exciting. So that's really cool. It's a series of individual comic strips. It is. And they look pretty darn funny, to be honest. Look, a little bit of slice of life mixed with some parody of mostly science fiction stuff. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Yeah, cannot wait to read that. I love an actual good funny comic because I read through them so fast, and so much of what I read is not humor. So I'm very excited to take a look at it. Also, that is a fairly eye-catching cover in a way, just because I don't know, it just demands my attention somehow. Very clever. Very clever. Thank you, David. Nice to have you here, Gene. Looks like fun. It does look, it legit looks fun. I can't wait to read that one. I'm looking forward to all of these so far. Legit, this is great. Wow, another international one, again from Canada. Our brothers and sisters, and so on to the north. My north. Or I'm their south. Is that everything? Let's see. Tock Tom. That's some good branding. TikTokTom.com. What do we have here? I'm going to read this. TikTok Tom started out as a self-published mini-comic in Toronto in '92. The mini-comic lasted for 12 issues plus a few special issues. Years later, 3 full-size comic books of TikTok Tom were published. After a hiatus, TikTok Tom returned with a monthly 18-issue online series. Also produced for online only was Solitary Man. Later, a weekly online story was collected into a trade paperback. From the 18-issue series, the main story was collected into our 400-page trade paperback. Wow. All right, a lot of comics. So, what do we have here? We've got So What and This Means War. But I had this one on top first, so let's open that up. There's also some stickers in here. Let's take a look. Yeah, tray. No, not this is stapled. Okay, stapled. And TikTok Tom. Oh, we're changing up styles to fit the type of page and story. Well, the art is different, but it's very confident in what it is. So I like that. This is confidence goes so far in just defining your style. As long as you're consistent and it's readable, I'm in. Story and art by Chris Stewart. Okay. Yeah, a lot of different styles actually as I go through this. I'm a little confused as to exactly what this is, but I think it legit just requires me to sit down and read it. I definitely this style keeps standing out to me. That's cool. That's cool. Look at that. That is a lot of comics, that's for sure. I'm getting a little bit of that 90s vibe. Said that these started in 92. I feel it a little. That was my youth. Let's see what we got here. This means war. This is a big, thick one, isn't it? Phrasing. Okay. Yep. Right on. Whoa, look at that. That is a cool little pinup in the middle. Didn't expect that. I like that very much. Okay. We're changing up artists all over the place. This is not all the same artist drawing in one style. Huh. I'll have to read through it to see who's my favorite. But anything you need to do to get the story told, I respect it. I respect it a heck of a lot. I don't know what to make. Oh, it's a flip book? It's a flip book. I haven't seen one of these in a while. Lost in Love, and we've got a zombie there. I like that. Dude, this is very creative. Very creative. And I do see some of the same artists coming back. I like this cartoony style. That's strong. And this person that I keep seeing this one artist, Chetan Patel, get mentioned. So I like that style too. Very, very clear. I like it. I can't wait to read it. Thank you so much to the folks at Tock Tom. I see some of that. Yep. Colors and lines give me all red energy. Yep. Love grunge. There is definitely an element of that I'm seeing. The art is good. There we go. We're seeing some positive reactions there. Much respect. It is not easy to make a comic. It is not easy. Anybody that is willing to take the time and effort to produce a comic and then also see it into print, coordinate with other people, collaborate, takes a lot of work. Everybody is trying to make the best comic they can. Nobody phones in a comic. I don't think that people phone in comics. Doesn't mean they're all good, but what I'm saying is there's always passion, especially at this level. This comes from something called House of Blood. I don't know what House of Blood is, but I'm about to learn. If you live in Seattle, you're legally obligated to love grunge. Yes, it's in the water here. You drink the water and you just instantly know grunge. You are grunge. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's a protective cover. Respect. Any sort of letter or note? Give me a moment. I don't think that there's a letter. Huh. Okay. It's up to me to figure this one out. House of Blood, and we've got a bit of a die-cut cover here leading you into the first page. Respect. This comes from, let's see, this version of House of Blood is being used as a promotional review material due to a print error. The book is still legible and readable, but much of the color is washed out or incorrectly applied. Okay. This is from Zach Chapman is the publisher here. And apparently you can go to @ChappyZach on Twitter and Instagram for updates on this. Oh, well, wow. That is actually very strong artwork. Very strong. Saying that the color is washed out or incorrectly applied. Well, it's not immediately obvious, I'll tell you that. I respect you wanting to get it just right. This looks really good. Huh. There's like a flashback here to a kid's life. House of Blood. Huh. Okay, I guess there's several different artists, but all of these are strong. This is legit very, very strong. In fact, it's so strong, I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard about this before. I guess some of it I might be more excited by than others, but look, this is like, I guess, a werewolf story or something. That looks good, right? That is definitely good comics. Yeah. This isn't phoned in or anything. This looks good. Seeing all sorts of stories in here. So there's a couple different art styles, and yeah, some of them excite me a little bit more. But House of Blood, well, this is huge. Welcome to House of Blood. Enter at your own peril. House of Blood is a true horror sicko's delight. Every panel is a celebration of horror at its most fun. Gnarly creatures, wacky science fiction nightmares, and the kind of characters who make you howl with laughter when they meet their gruesome demise. I dare you to read these comics without a big slobbering grin across your face. That's from somebody named Max Booth III, writer of We Need to Do Something. And if you're curious about this, houseofbloodcomic.com. That's pretty straightforward. houseofbloodcomic.com. Boy, starts off looking really, really good. Some of these pages are excellent. I like horror anthologies. Some of the ones I've been enjoying lately are like Creep Show. That's through Skybound. That's pretty good. I also think a good horror comic these days is Dark Ride. And then there's some like that are more well-known, like Something is Killing the Children and Grimm. But yeah. Sounds bloody. Yup. Oh, dang, that's good. It does look good. Have you read any of the Power Comics reprints of Outsider stuff from the 80s? Just picked up Earthman. Sorry, Eric, I have not. Good horror anthologies are always nice to see. I think it's a good entry point into comics. You know, there's always a market for horror. And just like horror movies, you can sometimes do it on like a smaller budget. And if you've got a really good premise, sometimes people are willing to work with you a little on the execution. Whoops, I was just trying to get to this like cover page, but I missed it. Oh well, that looks pretty strong to me. Volume 1, House of Blood. houseofbloodcomic.com if you're curious. I like what I see. There are still 4 pieces to go. So let's keep moving here. Alexander from Maine. All right, a little to the north of where I grew up. Let's see what that is. Got to get my scissors in. There we go. There we go. So many different types of packaging. It's kind of clever, like the innovation that I'm seeing on display here to protect the comic inside. What do we got here? What do we got here? Random Access. Issues 1 and 2. Is there a letter? I don't think that there's a letter. Oh, there is. There is. It's tucked away down there. I found it. I found it. That is a little bit 90s-esque how they've drawn that woman. Love your show. Blah, 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 blah. A couple like personal notes. Alex, let's take a look at what you've created here. Let's take a look at this. Oh, yeah. Aaron Lee mentions a good horror anthology is Silver Coin. I've heard that from a lot of people. Haven't read that one yet, but need to. Find me at Alex Turbin 04401 at Instagram. Okay, so what do we got more horror stuff, I think. Let's see. This is printed on something very close to newsprint, but it holds the color well. And we've got an artist who absolutely loves the female form and draws really good fish monsters. I like that. That's pretty strong, right? This lady has some pretty bad stuff happen to her. She makes it through 12-page issue. Okay, let's take a look at the other one too. You know what's always interesting? To see if you can tell if an artist has progressed at all. Depends how fast they're coming out with this stuff, I think. But let's jump to this. Wait, what? This is a completely different style than the last one. It's a completely different story. I guess random access works. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. Well, I'll have to sit down. I like that the first issue had color, but this is... I love black and white too. But it doesn't cost anything to add screen tones or grayscales if you're doing it digitally. That's kind of badass. That looks like something out of like a He-Man spinoff, doesn't it? But that is like late 80s excess that I really enjoy. James Coates with an awesome pinup. I think that's my favorite part of this issue. Yeah, I love that pinup. That's badass. Yeah, I guess that 80s thing, let's see, might even say 80s, reminds me a lot of the old school tabletop RPG art, like second edition D&D modules. Top marks for newsprint. And my understanding is newsprint is not cheap these days because it's not used as much. So it's not necessarily, it's not expensive, but it's not necessarily cheap. Moving on. Oh, actually, this one's got a little tab here that I can tear. Ow. I can open things. I'm an adult. What do we got? Get out of here. I'm going to have to cut you. Okay, I'm talking like a weirdo. I acknowledge that. Let's see what we have, though. This is coming from somebody named Matt. Back channel. That's strong. That has a really noir-esque look to it. I like that. Black belt. Okay. Bear with me reading through this. Oh, this person also watches pros and cons in addition to comic tropes. Appreciate that. I really do. I toil in making mini comics and would love to share a couple of my recent ones with you. Oh, very nice, Matt. And you can see more of Matt's stuff at gravitydsn.com. gravitydsn.com. I want to see this first, just because, first of all, respect for this format. Wow. Yeah, very strong. Very strong. And I'm seeing some screen tones used. I think that you guys know that I like that. This is not just what I suspected at first was going to be like noir, but you know what? It's sci-fi. Oh, dude. This is good. And I like the format. Just reading nice and long takes. That's also really good composition, by the way. That's really good. That's good blocking. This is good art. I like it. I think that if it didn't have the screen tones, it might have been too much open line art. And I think the screen tones really help give it the proper depth, because there's so many heavy blacks here that if you had really open line art on like the characters, I don't think it would look right. I think it would just look unfinished. So that's an excellent choice there. That looks good. That looks good. And yeah, love that print size, right? We see some flames. Yep. We see some beautiful sci-fi noir. Yep. Let's take a look at Black Belt as comparison. Also vaguely, what would I call that? Landscape size. Black Belt. And this is also written and drawn by Matt Belisle. Yep. He's got a strong, consistent style then. It isn't like he did things one way at one point and then things a different way at another. Probably like referenced, but each person is looking different. So, and he's consistent. You know, this guy looks consistent. The people in the other thing look consistent. Sometimes when you reference stuff, you know, your characters don't always look different enough from one another, or they don't look consistent enough panel to panel. So this guy's doing it right. That is up my alley in a big way, just to be clear. Yeah. Dark sci-fi is definitely up my alley. I really like what I'm seeing. Yeah. He spots his blacks well, even though it's so black. Mm-hmm. Looks cool. Are these for sale? One would assume. I mean, they've got prices on the back. And again, here's like the website that he had in his letter. I don't know how well this is coming out on camera, but gravitydsn.com. gravitydsn.com. So happy to plug that. We've got two more to look at before I wrap this up. So let's take a look. Where'd this one come from? Ireland. This is exciting. Had stuff from Canada, Scotland, and now Ireland. We're seeing self-printed, self-published, small press, and indie. All sorts of stuff, foreign and domestic. This is a little tough to open. I'll definitely pick those up. Looks amazing. Well, I'm sure that the creator would be excited to hear that. I'm definitely excited to read it. This is a hardcover book. This is a little tricky to get open because it's taped up really tight, but that is good. That is good for protecting it. Let me cut in. I'm excited to see what could be hardcover. This is our first hardcover book tonight. Thank you so much again to people who mailed stuff to me. And while I open this, here's somebody's thing. This is the P.O. box. If you had something you think I should take a look at, I'm happy to at least open it on live stream. I'll read it quietly on my own time as soon as I get a chance. Happy to do that stuff. Let's take a look at what came from Ireland. This is, oh, that's interesting. This is older. This is older. I'm looking for a letter. I'm looking for a letter. Bear with me. Bear with me. I want to make sure. There we go. 1980. Oh, it's from D.C. Thompson. D.C. Thompson has a huge amount of history in the UK. I hope you'll enjoy this little slab of an Irish childhood. Hotspur, that's this comic, started as an old-style boys' stories periodical that eventually became an annual comic collection with recurring characters. I've seen others with King Corsica on the cover. Regards from Ireland, Neil. I've never gotten to see something like this. Of course, I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it. We've got one color, as in, like, we've got the red that can be used in shades. And yeah, 1980, the UK. How thoughtful to send something like that. And it's an anthology. So in some ways, these are the kind of comics that America was making in the 1930s and 40s when comics started, and is still sort of the way that they do things in Japan, for something like, say, Shonen Jump. Yeah, always one color, although every few pages the color is going to change as to which one they're using. But it's a mix of funny stories, detective stories, war stories, sports stories. This will be interesting to explore, and who knows, maybe someday I'll get to do an episode if I can gather enough information, find an angle on it on somebody like D.C. Thompson, or like, an interesting bit of history on British publications. How unique is it? Wow, that is gorgeous. That's a really nice looking page. I got a little distracted. I know I'm supposed to be hosting a look at these, but I'm sincerely just sort of impressed with how it looks. And it really does feel like a Western take on what Japan is still doing. But in 1980, we weren't getting things quite like this in America. Not quite. By 1980, that it was it was superheroes and in some indie books that were black and white, but nothing quite like this. Isn't that interesting too? Just like even the branding. Book for boys. Deadly Samurai. That's really thoughtful, Neil. Thank you so much. Let's see. The comic book with color looks better than the comic book that's in black and white. Okay. Very cool. Thompson was famous for their war comics. I bet Jamie Hewlett was looking at that stuff. I bet you're right. Yeah. Gorillas, Tank Girl, this is probably stuff that he looked at. Yeah. That is sick. It's definitely unique. Well, for me, I'm sure it's not unique for people that grew up in, Ireland and Wales and Scotland and Great Britain, etc. Book for the boys. that'll be interesting to explore. All right, I seem to be down to my last one, and it's an oversized thing. Look at that, by the way. That's me. Did I duplicate it all right? From somebody named Scott. Let's take a look at what is so oversized. Wow, this is big. And it looks like it is a bunch of comics that will riff on existing comics. So we've got Elvis Chicken, which is absolutely designed to like Captain America Comics #1, famous early Jack Kirby art. And Elvis Chicken, looking a little bit like Buckethead, the guitarist. Altoona, Pennsylvania. We've got some stuff we can plug for this person here, especially YouTube. King Spoitle, or no, King Spoit 1. King Spoit 1 is what it is. So what do we have in here? We have some very underground comics. This is one of a kind. And you know what? The more unique, the more passion I see. This person has a story and they want to tell it their way. And I love that comics are versatile enough to adapt so many different people's types of stories. This is out there, man. This is a flip book too. Soul Man, the New Face of Death. This is crazy stuff. This is crazy. What else is in here, though? Because this is oversized. Oh, my goodness. All right. An exploitation comic. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Oh, they're good. There's a letter. There is a letter. All right. Let me put this down here. Uh-huh. The Elvis Chicken story has a true story of Elvis Chicken and I getting thrown out of a bar we performed in. The Soul Man is my nephews Parker and Clay doing their own comic with some small help from Uncle. Dude, what a great way to like bond with your family, making comics with them. Just finishing now a G.G. Allen graphic novel. Respect. I can see how that might fit in this wheelhouse. So this is like basically a poster, Tales from the Rock and Roll, done in the style of an EC comic, but this is an exploitation comic. Look at that. It's glossy. We've also got this one telling a story about John Wayne Gacy. That is truly exploitation stuff. That's everything. This is just a sketch of mine from before. You don't care about that, so let's flip that over. There's the scissors. I'll actually, I think we're done with that camera. Thank you to so many people for dropping in and watching this. Chicken funny. Yeah. Let's say all comics in the UK had hardback annuals released each year for Christmas. Very cool. Very cool. At the mention of G.G. Allen, it suddenly all made sense. I can see that. Let's see. Holy cow, I'd love to see a G.G. Allen graphic novel. His story is insane. It's a good idea. It really is. And as soon as I read that, I was like, yeah, that's a really strong idea. Has somebody done it? Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of. That Elvis Chicken cover in Soul Man reminds me of Wayne White. I'm not familiar with Wayne White, I'm afraid. That's a lot of great gifts. It truly is. It truly is. I've got a lot of reading to do. But I wanted to at least share them briefly with you guys and give some of my initial thoughts. But if you sent something in, that means a lot to me. Thank you so, so much. Very kind and thoughtful. I'm always excited to read all kinds of comics. You know, I'm not pigeonholing myself into any one type. So everything appeals to me in terms of seeing what people can do to explore the medium. And I'll just say on something related to this, my favorite comic convention is not, say, San Diego or New York Comic Con. Those I have a blast at. I do. But my favorite convention is one that was called, or is still called, but I used to be able to go to it when I lived on the East Coast. It's called SPX, Small Press Expo, where you would see comics absolutely like those, by which I mean passion projects. Sometimes the artist isn't even necessarily like at what you might consider a professional level, but they've got a story in them that they want to tell, and comics is the way to do it. And I love that. I am definitely willing to reach out and suspend disbelief if I need to, or forgive some somewhat clumsy storytelling or lettering. I'm willing to forgive that for the right stories. When there's a good idea, I'm willing to go along for the ride. And I'm not saying anything bad about anybody's. I'm just saying that, these are passion projects that you often see in indie comics. And some of these, just to be clear, are also definitely at what I would consider a professional level. So some of these people that I just flipped through, who knows? You might see them working at Boom Studios or IDW, something like that, within a year. That's always possible. Depends on somebody's work ethic, how friendly they are, but a lot of talent is absolutely already there. So thanks so much for watching me go through some of these comics. That was a lot of fun. And look at all these kind things from people in the chat room. That's really nice. Thanks for sharing. Yep. Thank you for your time and energy. Hey, least I can do. Thank you for the stream. Loved seeing the cool art. Me too. Maybe I'll send you a mini comic held together by Staples someday. I'd be happy to read it. San Francisco used to have Guerrilla Press. Yeah. There are other small press expos, and I love them. Let's see. Creative appetite is the best foundation for a good story. It truly is. It's like you have to get it out there. Well, comics, you can do it. One of the earliest things I picked up when getting into comics was an old SPX anthology. Yep, totally good. Thank you. Have a good night. You guys have a good night. Wayne White did all the art and puppets stuff for Pee-wee's Playhouse. Oh, and old punk albums. That's so cool to learn. It was really cool. Great stream. Thank you, folks. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Thank you very much. Look at all of you. All right. Yep. I'm going to take off then, but thank you so much for watching. Definitely check out these artists when you get a chance. And until then, keep reading comics. See you real soon. Take care.